I don't know about you, but fresh vegetables are always a problem when we are RV camping. And so today I want to talk a little bit about how I prep vegetables and have them last for longer trips when we are on a road trip. And so last night we went and did a ton of shopping. We went to Costco and did a big Costco haul. We also went to our local Fry's grocery store, which I think is Kroger. I don't know what it's called in other parts of the country, but we picked up a lot of stuff and some of that was vegetables. Here's what I need to prep for this trip. We're going to be leaving shortly, and so I really need to get going. But you know, I'm always a step behind. I don't know why I always feel like I can get more done than I really can. I don't know. Are you like that? Anyway, so I wanted to show you what I'm going to be doing with the vegetables and also give you a tip that vegetables help to schedule our meals. So the vegetables that are going to go bad or are the most delicate, the ones that are going to go bad first are the ones that are going to be up front in my menu, and then the stuff that lasts a lot longer, that will be at the end of the menu. Because we're not going to have any place where we can go shop for and restock fresh vegetables. So I had to stock up last night. And so part of the strategy with that is, like, I've got avocados here, and I know that once an avocado starts to go, you know, like ripe, it gets ripe and it goes fast, and all of a sudden you're stuck with a brown blob instead of beautiful green avocados. These are not ripe. I deliberately bought them so that they have time to ripen and I don't need to use these right away. So the beauty of that is I'm just going to go pack those and be done with it. I am going to take these things all out of their plastic bags so they have air and they have the ability to breathe, because I don't want any moisture building up in anything. Moisture is the enemy of fresh fruits and vegetables. So I am going to start doing all of my prep. I'm at home right now, and so I want to do as much prep as I can. We're going to be boondocking, so I'm not going to have ample or tons of fresh water and wastewater capacity and stuff like that. So I want to use what I have here. If we are on a really long, like summer-long road trip, I'm going to do this at an RV park and where I've got full hookups and I've got the ability to wash all my vegetables. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start washing here. I'm going to make sure everything is dry, and then I'm going to show you how to pack it. I have a lot of green vegetables that are going to need some attention. So here I've got a big batch of fresh green beans. I'm going to wash them, I'm going to dry them, I'm going to pick through them. If I don't think that I'm going to be able to use all of these green beans on this trip before they go bad, what I'm going to do is hold out what I think I'll use in the next, you know, couple of days or however long I think that these things are going to last. And then the rest of them, I'm going to package them and put them in the freezer. So I'll just basically have frozen green beans. There are lots of fruits and vegetables that have the ability to be frozen. Obviously, when we eat them, they're going to have a different texture. They're going to not be as crispy, crunchy as, you know, as a fresh vegetable. I'm just going to line this towel with some paper towels, and I'm going to pull these green beans out of the water that I'm washing them in, and then I'm going to let them sit here and drip dry while I work on my next item here. Did I ever tell you how much Pete loves hot stuff? Well, we've got lots of different kinds of peppers that we're taking on this trip, so I'm going to just throw those all in one bag together. These jalapenos are huge, so I always have Pete test the peppers for me because I can't handle really hot stuff. So he'll tell me after he takes a bite, green pepper, or you better watch out on that one because it's a little bit. Why is it that jalapeno peppers never have the same heat level? It's always kind of like a gamble. You never know what you're going to get when you get a jalapeno. Okay, now I'm going to start drying this stuff. And so it is completely dry before I pack it up. I like having all the peppers in one spot because then I know exactly what I have, how many of each I have, and I'm not digging through stuff. So putting things, organizing things, like things together is really important when you're trying to pack a bunch of food into a limited amount of space when you're on longer trips. So the best thing that you can do is once the stuff is completely dry, when you go to pack it, you want to also put it in, line whatever it is that you're putting it in with a paper towel. I like putting things in bags because they are easier to maneuver in the refrigerator, and instead of having a hard-sided container, they work a whole lot better. So I'm going to take just a regular sandwich bag. I'm going to put all of these peppers in here. The peppers are nice and dry, but I'm also putting them in this paper towel so that they can, if there's any additional moisture, it's going to get picked up and absorbed by the paper towel. So I don't want to close this bag, but I do want to, let's see, that bag is too small. I need a gallon. That's how many peppers we get. Uh-oh, I'm running low on my gallon Ziplocs. Okay, and I don't want that paper towel to get wet from this stuff that's sitting here. You know you like hot stuff if you need the gallon Ziploc in order to hold your peppers. So here's what this looks like. It is just lined with paper towel. The peppers are right inside, and I am going to leave this open when I'm not going to close it and seal it. I'm going to leave it open so it has room to breathe when I put it in the refrigerator. So this one is ready to go out to the trailer. All right, oops, I forgot one here. Looks like I don't want a serrano pepper getting mixed in with the green beans. That could be a bad day for me anyway, not for Pete. So I've got my strainer here that's nice and dry. I'm lining it with paper towels, and then I'm going to put these green beans in here and make sure that they are completely dry before I begin to pack them. And I'm going to decide how many of them I want to put in the refrigerator and then how many of them I want to put in the freezer. So it is just the two of us for the beginning of this trip. So I've got 2 meals where we are going to be eating green beans. So I don't try to measure like crazy. I just kind of go like, okay, a handful will be 1 serving for me, and then the same thing for Pete. And so I'll do 4 of these and put them back into the container that they came in, because it's easy to spot and see what it is when it's in the refrigerator instead of putting paper towel lined bags. The bad thing about these things, what I did with these peppers, is that when they're in the refrigerator, all it looks like is a lined Ziploc baggie with paper towel, and you don't know for sure what's inside. Yes, I can put a label on it for sure, but if I can, I would rather line this original packaging for the green beans and put the washed and dried green beans back in here, because it's easy for me to glance and see, and I know what's inside this bag. So that's what I'm going to do, but I am going to dry this because there was moisture buildup in here before I even open the package. Yes, I go through a lot of paper towels in this process, but it's worth it. The vegetables, I hardly ever throw away fresh vegetables because I use them, because I take the time to do this little additional prep. 1 portion for me, 1 portion for Pete, and we're doing that for 2 meals. So 1 portion for me and another portion for Pete. So these are the ones that are going to go back in this bag and stay fresh. The rest of them I'm going to put in a Ziploc baggie that goes in the freezer for later on in our trip. So those things are great if you're cooking something like a stir fry or something like that, where if they get kind of a little bit soggy when you're cooking them, it's not a big deal compared to just kind of trying to get a steamed green bean and have it be kind of a little bit, a little al dente and a little bit of a crunch to it still. That's hard to do after you've frozen them. So another reason to That's another reason to make sure that you are letting your vegetables determine your menu. The green beans are more delicate than the peppers, so I would want to put whatever these are in the menu with, I would want to put those on our menu earlier in our trip. So I'm going to go ahead and start packing these in here. Now when you have too many to really fit to have them surrounded by paper towels, just use a second thing of paper towels. You want these things to be as protected by being wrapped in the paper towel so the paper towel can absorb any moisture buildup. You want that as much as possible. This is our second batch, and that is going to go in the refrigerator. Again, I'm leaving the bag open to put in the refrigerator. Now for these are the ones that are going to be going into the freezer. So I'm going to put those in another Ziploc. Because these are going to be going in the freezer, I'm just going to go ahead and label these green beans, because it's not going to be easy to see the inside of the package when they're in the freezer. I don't mind when we are on trips and we are somewhere where we're stocking up, like when we're near bigger cities and things like that, where we've got ample fresh vegetables. I don't mind spending the day shopping and prepping stuff when we're hooked up at an RV park. It's just so convenient when you have all of that water and you're hooked up to a city sewer and you're not worried about how much water you're using, fresh water and wastewater accumulation when you're doing your vegetable prep. All right, so for this bag, I am going to seal it. I'm going to take the air out as much as possible. And I'm just using a regular Ziploc. I'm not using a food sealer sealed bag because that thing is, we're going to use it relatively quickly. So this is my open bags are going in the refrigerator. The closed bags are going to go in the freezer. I got a lot of coleslaw because we're going to be doing quite a few sandwiches on this trip, and I like to do coleslaw on the side. Coleslaw and chips or coleslaw and beans are normally my side dishes when we're doing sandwiches. And I'm going to do a lot of Blackstone cooking, and I've got some really fun recipes. Some are tried and true, some are going to be tested on this trip. So stay tuned for those. I'll have a good time. I love cooking on the Blackstone. It's really nice. One of the reasons I really like the Blackstone is because you don't have a lot of cleanup to do. You know, you spray the thing with a little bit of water when it's hot, you scrape it off, you oil it up, and you're done. So that's awesome. These, again, are going to be, I'm going to go separate this into two portions so it's got more paper towel around it. And I'm going to put these back in the original bags. Normally, coleslaw, I wouldn't be buying 2 bags of coleslaw for just the 2 of us. But like I said, because I'm doing quite a few sandwich type things, I think that coleslaw is just an easy, and then you lose some on your kitchen floor because you're in a hurry. All right, so this is another one. It's the bag is staying open. It's lined with paper towel, and I'm going to do my second one. I think it's the easiest thing to do to use a dry strainer in your sink, line that with paper towels, and then throw your vegetables right on top. The vegetables that don't need to be washed. It's just a really easy way to kind of hold the vegetables in one spot, keep them dry, and usually not get them all over the place. But obviously, I did make a little bit of a mess today. I don't want any of the coleslaw in here touching the bag itself. I want the coleslaw to be surrounded by these paper towels. Again, picking up the moisture for me, keeping them nice and fresh. All right, let's see if I could get this second one in this bag without getting it all over the floor. You know, it's just when you're in a hurry and you do those things that are like you think you're saving time and trying to make up time, and then all of a sudden it costs you more time because you did something and tried to do it too fast and you made a mess. Well, that's where I'm at today. Let me see, I gotta clean this up. This is bugging me. Ay. All right, so now I've got some tomatoes, some beautiful looking vine ripened tomatoes. So those obviously don't need to go in the refrigerator. The other thing I really like about doing this vegetable prep at home is getting rid of some of the bulky packaging if I don't need to keep it around. So this, I'm just gonna wash these up a little bit. These are organic, and I just bought them last night, and I can tell that they are already starting to get a little bit overripe. So now I know that this has become one of my top priorities in using this on my menu. I want to get rid of, I'm trying to remember which recipe I'm using these tomatoes for. I don't remember. I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out while we're driving and Pete is driving and I'm trying to settle the cats down because, you know, the cats don't like the drive. They love camping, but they hate the drive. So in all that chaos, I'll be trying to figure out what's on my menu, first, second, third. I want to make sure that my meal on travel day is really simple and is going to be quick to make. So I am going to be doing a couple of pulled beef barbecue sandwiches. And I showed you how I make that beef. I think I did it in a crock pot. I either do it in a crock pot or a pressure cooker. And so I did that, I think it was last week or the week before, I don't know. And so I used the food sealer to put all of that stuff together, and it's been in the freezer since I made that. Now I'm going to work on my beautiful bell peppers. Do you know that you can actually freeze bell peppers? This, if I had more time, I would not be doing this way. I would actually be cutting these things and slicing them up the way that I need them for the recipe. But I'm in a hurry, so I ran out of time, so I can't do that. But the other thing about that is you kind of have to use them pretty fast. So if you're gonna prep vegetables, like as in slice them or chop them, then you have a shorter window in when you are gonna be able to use them. But they do take up a lot less space when you get rid of the core and this, you know, and all the seeds and all the things that are in vegetables and fruits like this, which is, you know, a space-saving thing too, which is really, really nice. So I guess right now, if I was not in such a time crunch, I would be actually prepping these vegetables and not just cleaning them here at home. But it is what it is. Same thing with the coleslaw, same thing with the green beans. I'm going to put these back in the original bag so that I can easily see them. Tell me, do you use a lot of vegetables, fresh vegetables when you're camping? I know, and I would love to know what kind of issues, problems that you have or solutions that you have found. I'm always looking for new solutions. So if you can help me out, I would love that. The easiest thing to do sometimes is to stick like one thing in the bottom, almost like as a weight, and then pull the sides of the paper towel up the bag, and then put your other vegetables inside. And just like the other one, I want to keep these things kind of layered. I'm going to put more towels in as I put the vegetables in there. And 2 more. That should be good. Here comes another easy one. This is the Brussels sprouts, and I think I told you before, I don't clean Brussels sprouts, but I do take them out of the package and put them back in the same original package to keep that moisture out. So I'm gonna open this dump all the sprouts out here. And then I'm going to wipe out the inside of this bag. Before I put everything back in here. I'm using like 3 sheets of a paper towel to line these bags. Pinch the center of that, push it down in the bottom of the plastic bag, and then just kind of push it to the side so it sort of lines all the way around. And then I'll start putting these things in. And I can see that I've got a little bit of moisture there. I'm going to put another paper towel in here because I'm starting to get a layer in there where there's not a good barrier. I'm going to call it a barrier with the paper towels because that's kind of what it is. It's the thing that keeps sucking up that moisture. That's what we want. No moisture. And if I can't fit all of them back in because I've got too many paper towels in here, then I'll just use a Ziploc and, you know, do another bag. So there's tomatoes. You know, obviously they don't need to be refrigerated, but if I know that it's going to be a while before I use them, then I will put them in the refrigerator instead of leaving them in the pantry or out on the countertop because they just will last longer. Know that I'm going to fit these in here. Look at that. It's not going to close, so I'm going to have to be careful when I take that out. Hopefully I don't spill those like I just spilled all my coleslaw down there. But I'm going to put a lid, so-called lid, on there by putting another paper towel on top. I should show you how we make our Brussels sprouts with a little garlic and bacon, and they're wonderful. They're hardly like eating vegetables. I've got some mushrooms that I used over the last week that are starting to get a little bit, I had some left over. I didn't use them all, so I've got some that are getting a little bit ugly. And you know, you shouldn't wash your mushrooms until you're ready to actually use them. So I'll throw those in like a omelet or something in the morning and use those before they get too bad. All right, here is a cucumber. So I've got the things that are going to be out that could be on a counter. So this is my freezer, this is my refrigerator, and then these are my leave them out. So I need to let those avocados ripen. And here comes Izzy eating the coleslaw that I dropped on the floor. Awesome. Good girl. All right, here's my garlic. I'm just gonna leave that in that original bag. I'm gonna leave it open and that goes out on a counter. Oh my gosh, we got more peppers here. Pete buys peppers and doesn't eat them all. And then they're like in the bottom of our vegetable bin in a baggie, and all of a sudden he thinks that they're gone and he goes to the store and gets more, and we really had some still left. So I'm gonna throw these, I just washed these, I'll throw these in with the other peppers. I know a lot of people don't wash their lemons and limes. You get so much flavor when you zest lemons and limes. It's just like, why wouldn't you get all that extra flavor? You already paid for the lemon or the lime. So why not use the zest and not just the juice? But you got to carry a zester, or you got to zest it in some way. So that's kind of a pain. But there's little tiny zesters. So I do this enough that it's worth it to me to zest. So I have a regular zester in the trailer. Have one in the trailer, 2 at home. All right, I'm going to just put the lemons and limes together in one bag. I can keep those out. Get down. Get down. Get down. You don't need to be helping me right now. Go on. Down. So the question is, how much kitty hair do we have in our food, because our kitties do like to help us when we're, cooking and prepping and stuff like that. So usually not too much, but every once in a while you find something in there. All right, let's see. I've got onions here. Onions are, they release a gas and they will make all of your other fruits and vegetables ripen faster. So you kind of want to keep those isolated from your other stuff. And even in the refrigerator, they will do that. So kind of keep those separated if you can. So if I'm going to be peeling the potatoes, I won't bother to wash them. If the skins are going into the recipe, then I will wash them. All right, I'm gonna let those dry for a second while I work on my spinach. So I've got spinach that we've had in the refrigerator for a while. We've been eating on it, and everything is nice and fresh still. If I have enough vegetables to fill this thing, I don't mind having that be in the refrigerator. So what I will do is in fact, I'll do that right now. Instead of taking all of this out and putting this in a Ziploc, I'll leave that in there, but I'll also put some other stuff in there, like these green onions that I just washed, instead of putting them in their own separate bag. And then they're kind of easier to see when you have them in the refrigerator. That's it. We can now load this stuff in the fridge and be one step closer to leaving. One step. We still have a few other things we need to get done. Izzy, don't you get in there. For all of the vegetables that are actually staying out in the pantry, I'm just gonna put those. I've got a little Trader Joe bag that I love. I'm gonna put those vegetables all in one bag so I know that all of them are in one place. They're easy to find. I am going to leave the bags open. The little bag's inside the bigger bag. I'm gonna leave that open. I am not going to mix things that I care about for taste. So like the onion and garlic, I don't mind that those two things are together, and same thing with the avocado. The avocado needs to be ripened. The fumes from those onions will help that. But I don't want everything to have that kind of flavor, especially things like my lemons and limes. I don't want them to taste like garlic. So I'll put those in with like tomatoes, lemons and limes, and potatoes. They can all go together, and I'm fine with that. Put the potatoes at the bottom of the bag because they're the heaviest and everything else doesn't get smushed. I will keep an eye on those tomatoes because those are already starting to ripen, so I'm going to be careful with those. Now I can take out to the camper this stuff that goes in the pantry, and then I'm also going to take these greens that go into the freezer. The rest of this stuff goes in the refrigerator, and so I'll do that all at one time. I'm going to do these first. All right, so this is my pantry shelf-stable vegetable pile right here. So I am going to put that in here. And I will unpack all of this stuff once we arrive, but I really like to keep stuff in bags when we're traveling because it just stays where I'm not worried about, having things moving around. These are the green beans that we're freezing. So I got plenty of room in the freezer. Wow, I got plenty of room in the freezer. Got plenty of candy in the freezer too. All right, I'll be back with my refrigerator stuff in a second. So here we are. We got the rest of our vegetables. Look at all those nice fresh vegetables that are going to be going in the refrigerator. And so far, our refrigerator is pretty empty. We have not started really loading stuff yet. We got one small vegetable bin and then a larger one. So I'm going to kind of figure out what needs to go where. So the stuff that needs to stand up, like these, like the coleslaw, I'm going to put that in this bottom one because it can handle these guys standing up. Brussels sprouts that I'm going to put these down here because if they start to roll around a little bit, I'm okay with that. And they can get pushed. They're sturdy and they can push down on that, the box with the spinach in it without hurting anything. All right, and then I've got this other mystery stuff. See how it looks like mystery stuff? And these are my green beans and my bell and my peppers. This is the cucumber. So that is, looks like this will fit in here. You know what, every time we pack, we kind of pack like a little puzzle. So just keeping these bags a little open for some air and stuffing, but still leaving airflow pockets. There's my cucumber. All right, so our fruits and vegetables are loaded. I need to go get all of the other stuff that needs to go in the fridge and freezer, and I need to pack some clothes. I'm still not ready to go. I have no idea what time we're actually going to be leaving today, but the good news is I've got a really easy dinner plan for tonight. So I hope that these tips help you to be able to enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables on your trips. And don't forget that there's always the option to have canned stuff when you have really extended trips and you know that you can't actually do anything to hold a fresh fruit or a fresh vegetable for that long a period of time. So we're starting fresh. We're going to get to canned eventually in the trip. But right now I am going to get to packing. And if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment. And I'm always looking for new suggestions and new ways to do things and new tips. So I will talk to you again soon.